All right, that was the news update. And let's get into the papers now and see what the headlines are across Nigeria. And have with me to do justice to understanding some of the headlines. Dr. Dayo Kayode is here, public affairs analyst. Good to see you.
Good to see you,
Good.
Mike. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you too. Right. And I have with me as well, Shijibumi Adebi Bennett. Shijibumi, good morning.
Happy Easter to
and
you.
Happy Easter.
You look good.
Thank you. You always look good.
Thank you.
Okay, let's do this now. Let's begin with the Blueprint newspaper. All right, Blueprint says, as 39 students languish in captivity, Rufai threatens arrest, persecution of negotiators. That's on the Blueprint newspaper. Rufai threatens arrest, persecution of negotiators. Opens platform to reporting corporates. Obasanjo Gumi meets in Abeokuta, Nigeria massive killing field in a state of emergency. Kuka and Bakari is at saying this. Kuka's comments ungodly. The presidency is responding to this. All that on the front page of the Blueprint newspaper. Now let's go to Business Day. And it's talking about hospitality war. Short-let apartment takes on hotels for market share. Okay, that's on business and hospitality. Then the Daily Times is next, and it says external reserves dropped to $34.82 billion amid sluggish economic recovery. External reserves dropped to $34 billion amid sluggish economic recovery. That's Daily Times. News Direct is focusing on insecurity. News Direct says, establish special courts for banditry. Obasanjo, Sheik, Gumi urged the federal government. Establish special courts for banditry. Obasanjo, Sheik, Gumi urged the federal government. We'll certainly be talking about this too as we open discussions. Now, Daily Trust is where we go next. And it says, IPOB kills 13 traders in Enugu, Imo in 1 week. IPOB kills 13 traders in Enugu, Imo in 1 week. Oshibaju in Ebonyi calls against reprisal, and the Arewa Consultative Forum to police stop killings of northerners now. All right, the government disturbed Uzodima's aide, saying this, we're in search of killers, as Commissioner of Police. Right, so back and forth there. That's Daily Trust. From there, let's go to Daily Independent. Daily Independent is saying that Naira depreciate swells cost of servicing external debts. Naira depreciation swells cost of servicing external debts. That's Daily Independent. From there, let's go to the Tribune. Tribune says, OBJ, that's Obasanjo Gumi meet, list over 20 solutions to insecurity. OBJ Gumi meet, list over 20 solutions to insecurity. And that's on the Tribune. The Punch newspaper is next, and it says Nigeria's health in danger. Buhari pampers terrorists. Bakari and Kuka are saying this. Nigeria's health in danger. Buhari pampers terrorists. Bakari and Kuka are saying this. That's on the Punch newspaper. We'll certainly, if we have time, we'll be talking about that. Vanguard newspaper is next, and is focusing on the state of the nation. Nigeria in emergency, drifting apart irretrievably. Kuka and Bakari, still from the statements or comments they have made about the state of the nation. Kuka playing politics. The presidency is replying here. All right, that's the Vanguard newspaper. Daily Sun is next, and it says bloody Easter in Delta, Imo and Kaduna. Gunmen kill policemen, two princes, 9 others sack Alawa, Niger community. It's really disturbing issues of security there. That's Daily Sun. The Nation newspaper is next now. Nation says presidency, Kuka clash over Nigeria, a killing field claim. All right, presidency, Kuka clash over Nigeria, a killing field claim. All right, that's the Nation newspaper. This Day is next now, and that's the last one we'll be reviewing now. This Day newspaper says Obasanjo Gumi push for special courts to try bandits, kidnappers. Again, Kaduna rules out negotiation with bandits. Obasanjo, Gumi pushed for special courts to try bandits. And I think that is where we'll be starting this discussion from. We have the same story on several papers here, also on the News Direct, that says establish special courts for banditry. Obasanjo, Sheik, Gumi urge federal government. Dr. Kayode, let me start with you here. We'll recall that there has been call, in fact, we started with the call for special courts for election.
Yeah.
And election offenders. And then after that, there was a call for special courts for corruption.
Yeah.
And now, the former president and Sheik Gumi are calling for special courts for banditry and kidnapping and so on. I wonder what you make of this.
Yeah, you see, when we're talking about special courts, it has to do with, everything has to do with judiciary. Looking at what the Constitution says about this and about that, then having established that, what are the necessary punitive measures that need to be meted? Now, if judiciary is not coming up, and even the prosecutors, because not only even the judiciary now, especially when it comes to issue of banditry and issue of banditry, issue of political offenders, issue of financial offenders. It also has to do with the prosecutors. Who are those also involved in prosecuting these people? Because by the time you start having special court for this, special court for that, and all that, I mean, it will be making mockery of the whole thing.
You think so?
That's my own opinion. The issue is this. All we need to do is to empower the judiciary to be able to handle all these things accordingly. It is the judiciary that will say, okay, because of what is happening here, these are the things we want to do. They are the ones that are supposed to be proposing all this, not some other people for them. And the issue is, the moment we don't put the right peg in the right hole, this is what we will be seeing.
Okay.
But having said that, because of our situation in Nigeria, there is no gainsaying that we need a special court to try all these bandits.
Okay. Shijibami, I wonder from your own perspective, what will change if we have special courts for banditry and all of those issues that Nigerians have called for?
The first time was special courts for anti-corruption and to prosecute corrupt, allegedly corrupt individuals. And what was the reason as at that time? Is just to speed up the rate of prosecution. And even though we didn't have that special court, we saw a bit of, pace and speed in some cases. Though people may say maybe those cases were cases that the federal government maybe had interest, but I don't see it that way. But we saw pace and we saw speed. And after that, everything dropped. Now, and if you can remember a peculiar case of Senator Ojizokalu, even after being convicted, technicality in judicial process was
brought him back.
Was made to reverse the whole gains we made. So the question is, are these special offenses? Why do we need special courts? Are these special offenses? Somebody is kidnapping. The Constitution and the law are stated what should be done to that kind of person. Murder. Kidnapping that leads to murder. The Constitution has said something about it. So when you have manslaughter, maybe kidnapping that didn't lead to murder, but you almost got that person murdered.
Yeah. Or a homicide.
Yeah, homicide.
Depending on what
the Constitution is clear on all those things. Sometimes I wonder why we just beat around the bush and try to pander to people's sentiments. And that is what has got us to where we are. The executive, the leadership has a blame in the part of the problem. What do I mean? The president already said there should be independence of the judiciary and the legislature. And a bill was supposed to be passed. Even in the Constitution, it's stated it's just for the president to make it, to make a pronouncement, to make it work. Normally, the pronouncement is not what should make it work. It is what is stated in the
Constitution. Exactly.
But in our peculiar case, the president has so much enormity of powers that he has to still say something.
Especially his body language.
And the second day, what did we see? The leader of the NGF, the Nigeria Governors Forum, ran to Abuja and said the president should hold on. That they were still trying to, until now, nothing has been done about that. Because I would want to be able to blame the judiciary in its entirety anytime they mess up.
They fall short.
Yes, they fall short of their responsibility. But for somebody that we're saying we have to empower them, like Dr. Kayode said, that's where I have not been able to, really, chastise them enough. Because if my money must come from the governor, if every other thing must come from the governor, I could use that as an alibi for inefficiency.
Judicial autonomy.
But if we have all those things in place, another thing is the elite, which has been the problem of Nigeria from the beginning. I wonder if Sheik Gumi's son or daughter, or Obasanjo's son or daughter, were to be killed in Kaduna, just like it happened to
even kidnapped
Fashionality. And they will now sit at a table and say there should be special courts for bandits. Will they be able to reason that way? The same thing the colonial masters did to us, we're doing to ourselves. And it is from every strata of the society. The elite, we lord over the middle class. The middle class will lord over the lower class. The lower class will lord over the indigent in the society. The same thing is happening in every strata. Until something happens to one of the elite, then that's where you hear the noise.
All right.
People are being killed every day. You are talking of special courts for who?
All right. In this case, in finding solutions, of course, like one of the papers put it, that over 20 points were raised as to what solutions there should be for banditry and kidnapping and all of that. If we have to delve into solutions from your perspective, what should they be if we have to look at keeping this thing behind us and moving on?
You see, interestingly, I've gone through all those 20 solutions. They are all overlapping.
Okay.
And even there are some of them that are not even really needed. All we are saying, just two things. One, the president must be very, very decisive.
Okay.
When you make a statement, follow it up. Two, let there be independence, total independence of the judiciary. Then, when I say total independence of the judiciary, then that means we must look at what we call separation of power in its entirety. Let the executive stay within their boundaries. Let them park very well at their parking space. Let the legislature also park at their own parking space. And then let the judiciary also park at their own parking space. So that nobody usurps each other's parking spaces.
Except to complement each other.
Except to complement each other. It is only when we have that, then we now see due process, taking place. Let there be justice, equity, and fair play. Do you mean we have that? Between you and me, judiciary will do its own work, legislature will do its own work, executive will also do their work. All this one that we are coming with 20, anybody even reading it, before you finish reading it, you have forgotten the one you have read before. You will have been tired. Yes, they tried, no doubt about it, they tried for coming up with that. But we don't need more than that. One, let there be total separation of power, whereby the judiciary will have its utmost independence. Then the president himself, let him be decisive. If he's decisive, look, you service chief, I want you to go to Sabisa, dismantle that place, follow them up. Not that they will now say.
Do they need the command or such kind of statement from the president? They already know by the work, by the appointment of their officers. Shouldn't they know what?
Why we are saying that is these days everything has been politicized. including our well-being. Everything has been politicized. Look at ordinary black oil that God has given us free of charge. Look at the way we have politicized it, because some people wants to be feeding from it. They know that they are festering on people's money. Because of that, they refused to ensure that our black oil is being processed here. I mean, look at it now. What justification do you have for the world to be saying Nigeria is importing fuel? You have no justification other than you are being hedonistic. So the only solution we need, just two, the president should be decisive, then let there be total separation of power.
All right, the separation of powers of the arms of government as recommended. All right, close to that is the issue from Kaduna, where Governor El-Rufai is saying that there will be there should be no negotiation with kidnappers and bandits and all of that. And this followed the 39 students that were kidnapped some time ago. Now, the issue of negotiation. Of course, we heard a strong statement from the government saying that nobody should negotiate. We didn't appoint anybody to negotiate on our behalf. But even the concept of negotiation alone, when government officials are saying there will be no negotiation, but some have said that, of course, they go behind to do the needful to ensure that innocent citizens who are in captivity return home.
Yes, every country does that. Yeah, even the US does that. So, from the government point of view, they can never interface with criminals. But they have affiliates like the Red Cross, the UNAID, and all the people that do that for them, because you cannot leave those students there. If one of them were to be my brother, I wouldn't say they shouldn't negotiate. But the government, and we will get to that stage, and we're already getting to that stage, the government has to put its foot down. That's why I will not agree that maybe the former president Obasanjo tried, or Sheik Gumi tried. They didn't try at all, because we cannot have leaders talking from both sides of their mouth. We cannot have the political leaders and even the so-called leaders from that region saying these people are criminals, we don't need ransom, we don't need negotiation with them anymore. And somebody traveled all the way from the northwest to Abeokuta. You can't, who wears it, know where it pinches. So if even Katsina governor that used to pay ransom, that used to negotiate, and Zamfara governor that used to do that, have all said this thing can't work. It can't work. That's the truth about it. Because maybe by the time even me that I see that I come to TVC and I'm fine. But if something you want to say, okay, carry gun for a day, then go and negotiate. Because it's unreasonable. Somebody has killed people and you are negotiating to pay ransom. So everybody will want to do that. So everybody has said this is the way we're going. Why draw us back with negotiation again? So I will support the governor on that. I will support all the governors, because all the Northwest governors are on the same page. All the leaders there, to the best of my knowledge, are on the same page. It's only Sheik Gumi that I don't know what he has with the bandits that is traveling around.
He has met with some of the bandits. You recall some of the videos that went viral of him meeting, trying to engage with them.
All the excuses, all the videos I've watched, all the excuses of those guys are excuses by any other person. Even in the southwest, in the south, and in the southeast, our politicians are the ones failing us. They gave these guys guns before election.
Do you know why?
And those guns were not recovered. So people will use it for whatever means they want to use it for.
Yeah. For you to know why Sheik Gumi is negotiating all over, go and research who is Sheik Gumi. I have done that. You to go and research who is Sheik Gumi. Then you'll be able to know why he's trying to negotiate now all over. Yeah.
Is that okay? So we should all go to do that research.
Sure, you should go and
I know what Dr. Cowdy is talking about, but there are some things that we can't say. Well, we can't say.
Let's leave that. If those things if there are allegations or anything found in there, well, let's read and then
everybody will make it to our own
conclusion. Exactly. Now, then the point there is the issue of negotiating with we've seen all of these things in the past where There was the issue of amnesty for at the time he worked in Zamfara, at the time he worked in Katsina, where some people laid down their arms to say, okay, we're no longer involved in this, we want to become citizens now, and all of that. Yet, months after, years after, we still see the same thing coming back again. Do you see this negotiating thing as the solution to anything?
Number one, government need to come out and differentiate between amnesty that was being granted to the southeast guys and
as ex-militants,
and the one that they are talking that should be given to Boko Haramists and all these kidnappers. They are two different things. Not until when government comes out to differentiate between those two activities, people will not.
But amnesty is amnesty. Why should there be difference?
Amnesty is different from amnesty.
I didn't know that.
Okay, look at this.
I think Dr. Daokade has joined them.
No, look at this.
Trying to pander to some things.
No.
Those things are clear. Government should not define it.
No, listen. Look
Saboteurs are different.
Listen to this. In Southeast, South, those guys were saying, look, you are taking resources from our locality.
Yeah.
And there is environmental degradation.
Yeah.
Which you are supposed to take good care of.
Yeah.
But you are not doing it.
Yes.
They took them to court. They won. They killed their leaders, Sarowiwa. And they are now saying, okay, fine. Come and improve on our environment. But these people, what are they asking for?
Well,
you don't understand. Rather, they were just killing and maiming just because they know people have been giving them money. Again, you also have to look at the emergence of these people. Are they even really Nigerians? Because even the president himself said it. Who has all the security information in this country said it. That these bandits are from Sudan, Niger, and all these guys from Libya. All right? So the moment that they are not Nigerians, you cannot equate them with those people there. So to that extent, there shouldn't be anything like bargaining with them.
No. Dr. Kayode, the point there is, for anything that makes you agitate or make you uncomfortable, taking arms against the state in the eyes of the law is wrong anywhere, whether the issues are justifiable or not justifiable. But picking arms against a state where you're kidnapping people and killing people and holding the state to ransom, I support. I'll come back to you.
I support Dr. Daokade.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, the government already knows. We shouldn't give them the excuse of they don't know. That's the only thing I'm saying. Because Dr. Daokade is not in government and he understands this and he has clarified it to us. Saboteurs are different from murderers.
Sure.
So some people are saboteurs. Though they took arms against the government, but some people are clear murderers. So
bandits.
That's different. Then you made a mistake, sir, Mike. The other time you said it worked. It never worked in the Northwest. Amnesty or ransom never worked. What was working that time? When they gave them in Zamfara, they will leave Zamfara for a while and go to Katsina, where they didn't give them. Once they start giving them in Katsina, they will leave Katsina and go to Niger. So there was no time. There
were people laying down their arms, isn't it?
Or was it people laying down arms in all over the country?
That's what we're saying.
And we
the government at the time was satisfied by the laying down of arms of those persons.
Let us also look at those are laid hands. Yeah. These guys are laid hands and were being celebrated. In fact, the kind of clothes they wore resemble that of this my brother.
Are you saying that
in Benue took amnesty twice?
I mean, do you understand?
The guy from Benue.
Are you with me?
Ghana.
So those are issues. We need to analyze all those people that they said are laying down arms. Who are they? Were they arrangee or not? See, Nigerians, we have grown. We are no more analog. A lot of us, we have gone Do you understand?
All right.
So government should know that Nigerians of today are different from Nigerians of 1945.
Okay. All right. And that is where we wrap up now on the show. Thank you so much, Dr. Dayo Kayode, for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for
We really
inviting me.
appreciate you. Shibumi Adibi Bennett, thank you for coming as well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Happy Easter to our viewers.
Happy Easter.